So usually an f of x problem, that's going to be your signal to say, oh, I have to do p over q. I'm probably going to give this question to you as a free response question so I can kind of guide you to where I need you to be. So the first thing is I need to know what p is. What is p? 15 is p. What is q? So now our job is to list the factors of 15 and list the factors of 1. So give me 2 factors of 15. Okay, so 1 and 5, how do I write them though?
Plus minus 1, plus minus 1.
Positive or negative 1, positive, negative 15. Now what was the other one over here?
3 and 5.
How do you say it?
Positive, negative 3, positive, negative 5.
Are there any more factors of 15? Okay. What are the factors of Q?
1 plus and minus 1.
Okay. Now we're going to write our possible roots. Okay. Our possible roots are P over Q. We're going to put them in order from smallest to largest. I will tell you that on the test for your possible roots, you will have a Q that is greater than 1 because I want to see if you know how to do those fractions. So positive or negative 1 over positive negative 1 equals what?
1.
Positive negative 1. Now we're going to go to the 3. Positive negative 3 over positive negative 1. Okay. Positive negative 5 over positive negative 1. And then positive negative 15 over positive negative 1. Okay. The question is find all the zeros. So the first thing that you have to do is you're going to have to test the rational possible roots. So these are all of our rational possible roots. Okay? You guys, you will never test an imaginary root or a irrational root. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to test our numbers using synthetic division. And you're going to test until you get a what?
0.
You get a 0 in the remainder. So let's go ahead and test those right now. Okay. So I tested 1, I got 32, didn't work. I tested negative 1, I got 8, not a root. I tested 3, got 120, not a root. I'm testing negative 3 now. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. 5 plus negative 3 is 2. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. 11 plus negative 6 is 5. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. 15 plus negative 15 is 0, which means I have a rational root of what? So I have one rational root right now that I know of, okay? My rational root right now is negative 3. My function was x to the third plus 5x squared. So my new compressed function, that's these 3 numbers, would be, instead of this would be 1x squared. So it would be x squared, because you always take it down 1. Then the next term would be plus 2x. 5 is positive, so we put positive 5. Because my compressed polynomial, that's what this is called, is x squared, I'm going to see if I can actually factor it. Because we can either factor them or we can solve them by the quadratic formula. Okay? So let's see if we can factor it. A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 5. 1 times 5 is 5. And I'm looking for 2 numbers. When I add them up, they get 2. Everything is positive. The only factors of 5 are 1 and 5. 1 plus 5 is 6. Is this factorable?
No.
That means it's prime. It means it has no more rational roots. We're going to use the quadratic formula to find the rest of the zeros. Yes?
Can I go back here?
Yes.
Where did you get x squared plus 2x plus 5?
From the bottom.
Oh,
x squared plus 2x plus 5. Okay, now this is not factorable, so we're going to use the quadratic formula. So this also means we only have one rational root, and that rational root is -3. Remember, you can only use the quadratic formula when it's x squared. So it's the opposite of b. So the opposite of b was 2, so the opposite would be -2 plus or minus 2 squared, because it's b squared, minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. Two squared, so 2 times 2 minus 4 times 1 times 5 gives you a square root of, I believe, -16. Okay. Without testing the negative, I just want you to test 16 in your calculator. I want to know, I want to know if it's a whole number when it's the square root of 16 is a whole number or a decimal. Whole number, that means that 16 is a perfect square. So it's going to be -2 plus or minus, since you have the square root of -16, it means it's going to have an I, and the square root of 16 was what? 4. You're going to put an I, and then you're going to put over 2. Now, can it be reduced? Now remember, the top has to be able to be reduced by the 2. Everything. So -2 divided by -2 divided by 2 is -1. 4i divided by 2 is 2i. So all my roots are all zeros now. So what's the first 0 that I found? What's the first 0 that I found? -3. That's my only rational root as well. And then I found -1 plus or minus 2i. That's my answer for number 21.